You know what's kind of sad? With regards to these Disney Plus Marvel shows, now it's just gotten to the point where I'm just like, please just don't be another Secret Invasion. If you accomplish that, then all right. But in terms of my level of excitability, you know what word I'm trying to say. But in terms of that word that apparently I can't say for whatever reason today, I'm just like, eh. But with that said, is this Secret Invasion? Let's talk about it. And welcome to my safe haven, everybody. Thank you guys so much for clicking on another video and joining me here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. Happy New Year. If this is your first time checking out one of my videos, checking out my channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek. And I always say the things that I love to talk about on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the four. So I like to talk about nerd stuff, superheroes, fantasy, horror, and of course I like to talk about black representation and queer representation. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you think representation matters, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, become one of my safe Gaveneers, follow me on other social media channels, TikTok, Facebook, I don't really use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. And then also do me a favor on this video and every video that you see of mine, help me out, hit the like button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm, getting this video out there, getting my channel out there for more eyes to see my videos and channels, so more eyes can come and probably, hopefully subscribe and check out my other videos and help me continue to grow my channel. So we're here to talk non-spoilers for the latest show, latest Marvel show, latest MCU show to hit Disney Plus, and that is called Echo. I believe this is the first show. It was called Marvel Spotlight, which I guess they're doing, I guess they're saying it doesn't connect to the MCU. They're just doing non-canon, unconnected related show. I don't know what Marvel Spotlight is. All I know is Echo, it's out, and they dropped all 5 episodes on Disney Plus yesterday, and I got to watch all 5 episodes last night. So, non-spoiler review, let's get into it. Taking place 5 months after the season finale of Hawkeye, Maya Lopez's ruthless behavior in New York City catches up with her in her hometown. She must face her past, reconnect with her Native American roots, and embrace the meaning of family and community. And so yeah, even though I mentioned that this show takes place 5 months after Hawkeye, so it would make sense if anything, to watch Hawkeye before you watch this season of Echo. And of course, obviously, it's best if you've watched the first 3 seasons of Daredevil, because it also turns out that after Echo dropped yesterday, Marvel came out and confirmed that all of the Netflix Marvel shows, so Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Defenders, and Punisher, they're all canon to the MCU. So all of it comes into play. So specifically with regards to this show, the Daredevil shows, all 3 seasons of Daredevil, and then now Hawkeye, which was Disney Plus anyway, but all of that connects to Echo. So in order to really understand this show, you'd have really had to have watched Daredevil, and then of course watched Hawkeye, because that's where Maya was introduced. But with that said, if you've only seen Daredevil, which if you haven't seen Daredevil, I recommend it because it's one of the best Marvel shows to come out. Especially out of the Netflix Marvel shows, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Defenders, Daredevil is like top tier. Jessica Jones season 1 was incredible. After that, it was trash. Luke Cage episodes 1 through 6 were great. After that, it was trash. All of Iron Fist was trash. And Defenders was meh. Punisher season 1 I liked. I didn't see Punisher season 2 because there was like, only because I was like, it's not getting renewed, it's getting canceled, so who cares? I'm not interested. But yeah, anyway, so even though I said it connects to Hawkeye, honestly, if you haven't seen Hawkeye, you honestly wouldn't really need to with this first episode, because basically this the entire first episode was just recapping footage from Hawkeye. Like the first episode is like 50-something minutes long. The first half hour was rejiggered footage from Hawkeye to introduce you to the character of Echo. So if you haven't seen Hawkeye, it was good to introduce you to the character. But being that I've seen Hawkeye, I was sitting there the whole time just like, they could have did this in a like previously on Echo, or like a flashback, or like the beginning of the like, again, previously on Echo. Here's what you missed or whatever. Like where the 30-minute mark started, where we finally got to like outside of the Hawkeye storyline, and it started 5 months later. I was like, the episode should have started here. But I say all that to say, if you didn't watch Hawkeye, you don't need to watch Hawkeye to get into this show. But with that said, when I talked about in the intro of this video, is this show Secret Invasion? I will happily say it is not Secret Invasion. I will also happily say that it is one of the strongest of the Disney Plus shows. I really enjoyed Echo by the time it got to the end. However, with that said, I do feel like in terms of the storyline and what they were telling, like this show was kind of all over the place. In the sense of like, you get to see Echo and she goes back to her home in Tomahawk, Oklahoma, which is a heavily Native American population. And you get to see a lot of like Native American heritage, Native American culture. The majority of the cast were Native American. They were part of the Choctaw tribe and Choctaw people, I believe. And they spoke Choctaw throughout the episodes and throughout, you know, most of the season and things like that. So I enjoyed getting to see that representation, getting to see people that, you know, Native people that used to be the majority in this country. But because of white people, because of colonization, because of smallpox, because, you know, all of that stuff, they were essentially wiped out to the point that now Native American people are like 1% of the entire US population. So it was good to see them basically be the majority of this movie and on screen, the majority of the time, and get to see that culture and connection. But I feel like in terms of the character of Echo, they were trying to tell two different stories at the same time, where you got to see the story of Echo, but then they were also telling the Native American heritage. And like, even when the episode started, you're just like, because they tell like they do a flashback of like an ancient tribe of Native American people, the Choctaw people. And you're kind of like, what does this have to do with Echo? This, like, I'm very confused right now. And then you're wondering if it connects to the character of Coyote from What If, but then you realize it's because that was also a Native American character, but then you realize it's not connecting to Coyote. So I'm just like, I'm very confused right now. What is this? And that was a lot of that throughout the back and forth throughout the entire majority of the story, was just like, they kept going doing those flashbacks and you're just like, I'm not understanding what this is. Now, to be perfectly transparent, in the comics, the character of Echo has powers. Not like superpowers in the sense like a mutant like Jean Grey or Storm or Xavier or Wolverine in that sense. Her powers, she's basically like the Taskmaster. That's why she's called Echo, because any physical act that isn't superhuman that she sees, she can replicate it by seeing it just the one time. So her first introduction in the comics is kind of the same thing. She saw Kingpin as her uncle, and Kingpin lied and said Daredevil killed her father. And so she went after Daredevil for revenge, only to find out that it was Kingpin that actually took out her father. So kind of the same thing that happened in Hawkeye. And so while she was fighting Daredevil, Daredevil had a very hard time fighting her and taking her out, because she was practically copying and replicating and redoing every single maneuver that he was doing. After he did it once, she basically watched a bunch of footage. She was kind of like, I can't remember that character's name, but she was a black girl that was in the show Heroes. I think it was like season 2. She had that same power as well. And again, Taskmaster. She watches you, you see it once and she's able to do it. But in the show, in Hawkeye, we never saw her do that. She didn't have those powers or that like physical, I forgot what the actual power is called, but like that physical duplication basically. And then in this show, she doesn't really have that ability either. They did give her powers by the end, but it's different. It's not the same as what her powers are in the comics. Kind of like what they did with Kamala Khan and how they changed her powers in the comics and to what they did in live action. Now, that's not to say I dislike what they did. I think what they did was okay. I think what they did was decent, but at the same time, I feel like because they gave her more powers than like a physical manifestation of it, it kind of made like her going against like the Kingpin, like it almost kind of felt like they were trying to tell a fantastical story and a grounded story at the same time. And both of them don't really mesh. When you have a person that ended up doing what she could do by the end of this show, it doesn't work with the whole grounded nature of it, because it's just like, well, then damn, like she could take out everybody. So I don't know, I just kind of felt like that was kind of all over the place with regards to the storytelling. And then also in terms of the stakes, like, yes, I will say, like, this is the first Marvel Disney Plus show that's original, that didn't originate on Netflix, because the Daredevil shows, Punisher, all of that stuff is now on Disney Plus. But original Marvel Disney Plus show, that's gore. Like, it's bloody. You see people get shot in the head. You see blood, headshots, all of that stuff. It's not as bloody as I would say Daredevil is, or those type of shows, but it's definitely rated R in terms of like what we've seen previously on Disney Plus. So I appreciate that, because there are certain characters that I feel like would lend themselves to that more rated R and gritty, grounded feel. Daredevil, Blade, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Moon Knight. I wish they had the same tone for this with Moon Knight. If they were to do like a Wolverine movie or show, it should be rated R, and other characters. So I at least appreciated that they were finally able and finally willing to take a risk with regards to their tone. And then also a thing that I appreciated is it didn't have the Marvel jokey, every 2 seconds you had a joke tone to it. Like, now that's not to say there weren't certain moments of jokes, but it fit and it worked with the tone that they established. And I appreciated that. I love the fact that they finally stepped out of that comfort zone to do something like this with regards to their Disney Plus properties. And then also a thing that I wish that they did with regards to this show is, because the character of Echo is deaf. Alaqua Cox in real life is deaf. And they did it throughout the show, but they didn't do it enough, in my opinion. Being that we're following her perspective and her character, I wish there were more moments where they took the sound out from the show. They took the sound and the score, and I wanted to experience what Echo was experiencing. There were certain moments that we saw it from her perspective, but there's a score playing in the background, and I wish they didn't have that. Or we hear like the background noise in the background, whether it's car horns or person yelling or whatever, like, or gunshots. I wish there were more moments where we didn't hear anything to push the, or increase the intensity or the level of threat that you feel, to get that from her perspective, because again, she's deaf. And so I wanted to feel more of that in terms of the way the show was shot. I mean, I get from a standpoint, from an audience standpoint, why they did that, because especially when it comes to like subtitles, you know, a lot of people don't like reading. So that's why a lot of like American or like foreign films don't really play well in America, because people don't want to read the subtitles or things like that. Or like, even when it comes to anime, some people don't watch the dubs. They watch the English version over the subs. Now, I'm not saying for the people that have to read or can't read subtitles because of disability aspects, or they can't see or whatever. I'm not talking about those type of people. I'm just talking about in general. People don't like reading subtitles. So I get from that aspect why they don't. And then plus, like, sitting through a show that's mostly silent, sitting through a silent show, some people will probably get bored. But I'm not saying they should have did it for the whole movie. I'm just saying there should have been more of that in the movie to feel the threat, to feel what Echo was feeling. So I was kind of disappointed with that. But I don't know. Overall, I did enjoy Echo. I thought it was fun. Way better than Secret Invasion. It's not something I will go hold and like, oh, this was amazing. This is one of the best things on Disney Plus ever. But it was, I would say it's probably one of the stronger of the Disney Plus shows, in my opinion, because a lot of them fall flat fully by the end. And for the most part, this show didn't really have that, where by the time I got to episode 3, I was just like, all right, where we go? Like, I was bored. I'm bored. Like, the only thing with this show, I could just tell or feel like this show should have gotten more than 5 episodes. 5 episodes for the story that they were trying to tell is nowhere near enough. If anything, this show and this season should have at least been like 10 episodes. And then also, I noticed that in the trailers and in the promotion, they're trying to sell Daredevil in the show. I'm just going to let you know right now, Daredevil is barely in it. He's in this for like 30 seconds, if that. And then you never see him again. So the fact that they're trying to sell you on because Daredevil and Echo are connected in the comics. Like I said, Daredevil sends Echo after, or Kingpin sends Daredevil after Echo. So all that storyline that we got for Hawkeye, where she sent them after Hawkeye, that was actually reserved for Daredevil. So he's barely in it, but like, I guess if you're looking for to see Daredevil, you get that for like 30 seconds of the episode. Spoilers, but you see it in the trailer, so whatever. But if that's something that you're looking for, you're not gonna get it for beyond the 30 seconds. But yeah, same thing I say for all of these Disney Plus shows. It should have been longer, and it should have been a little bit more cohesive with the terms of like the story that they were telling with Echo, and then the other backstory that they're trying to give with Echo's powers. And I don't know why they even gave her the powers that they did, because it also doesn't make sense, because it takes her beyond a street level hero. And for her to be going against the Kingpin, it just made things a little bit too easy once she discovered that power. That's all I'm gonna say without getting too deep into spoiler territory. But like I said, overall, I enjoyed Echo. It's only 5 episodes, so I would recommend checking it out. And so with that, the question is, what did you guys think about the first 5 episodes of Echo? It's currently out right now on Disney Plus. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you can, hit that thumbs up button and like this video to really help out with the YouTube algorithm of the channel. This is one of your first time checking out one of my videos. Please check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.